G'day and welcome back to the channel. And on this channel, I have often voiced skepticism about the reports that pilots file having said they see drones from the cockpits of their aircraft. And I'm skeptical about this because there have been so very many reports, yet very little substantiating evidence. And that, if you just look back a bit in time, you'll realize that back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of reports were filed for UFOs, unidentified flying objects. But once drones became a thing, the number of UFO reports that were filed fell dramatically, replaced by drone sightings. And I think it's easy to see what's happened here is that pilots previously, they couldn't identify anything. They called it a UFO, quite legitimately. But now, if they see something and they can't identify it, it's a drone. It's a drone. So a lot, unless aliens have suddenly started flying drones rather than UFOs, or unless for some reason there's been a massive reduction in the number of real unidentified objects out there, we're seeing a lot of the UFO reports, or formerly classified UFO reports, being now designated as drone incidents. So it's not very fair. And on these videos that I bring, these ranty news videos, I want to maintain a lot of objectivity, fairness, both sides of the coin. Now, I've spoken about the pilots who, for some reason, can't even get their smartphones out and get a picture of these drones they apparently see. And the latest of those incidents was in Dublin just last week, and I did a rant on that, and I said, I don't know that this pilot really saw a drone. There's no other pilot saw it. There's no corroborating evidence. He didn't take a picture of it, yet it was so close he could see it. One report said it was just 200 meters away. A good smartphone will get a really good picture of a drone, even at 200 meters, but nothing, right? And then, believe it or not, the day after I filed my skepticism, this report appeared in the media, equally being skeptical. So did they watch my video? I don't know. But it's good to see the media, at least one member of the media, popping their hand up and going, yeah, something doesn't sound right here. So good, excellent. I'd like to see more of that, but I don't know that we will, for reasons that I've already addressed in these videos. But the reason for today's video is this. Yes, now this is pretty clearly some evidence of a drone flying very close to a helicopter. I mean, I've looked at the video fairly closely. I can't see any indication that this is a fake video. It certainly looks real. And so it's the other side of the coin. And it's proof that sometimes people with drones do really stupid things that potentially endanger the lives of other people. And it's not good. It's not good at all. And in order to make the videos I post here robust and objective and factual, I'm always going to bring you both sides of the coin. When pilots appear to be pulling stuff out of their little bottoms, I'll tell you. But when something happens that really does look legit, I'll tell you that too, because we need a balanced perspective, a balanced view of things. And this is one of the very few instances I've seen where a helicopter has been flown, or a drone has been flown very close to a helicopter. The other one, I think, was it in Florida, where a helicopter was flying along the beachfront and a drone overhead. There's been a few of them, but not many. When you consider in the USA, there are over 1 million registered drone operators. The fact that I think I've seen really only 2 helicopters versus drones within close proximity is a pretty good indication that this is very much the exception rather than the rule. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to put the whole video up because that's a breach of YouTube's terms and conditions. I'm using this under fair use because I'm reporting this as news. But what I have done is put a link to this video on YouTube in the description of my video. So go and click on that link and read the description. Read the description that's been associated with that video and read the comments so far. Now, as of the moment I make this video, there's less than 4,000 views on that video. The media hasn't discovered it yet. The mainstream media seems to have not found it, but they will. They will find it, and you can bet we're going to see headlines that say, near catastrophic collision between helicopter and drone over Niagra Falls, because that's apparently where this took place. And they're going to blow the snot out of it. Now, I'm giving you a more balanced perspective. It was bad. Now, I'm not going to apologize in any way, shape, or form for this kind of action on the part of a drone operator. No, and even the operator himself makes it very clear that he was gobsmacked. He was so afraid of what he had done. He was scared of what he had done. As I say, read the description of the video. You'll see this wasn't some smart ass trying to get a good picture of a helicopter. No, he wasn't. He did it all wrong, and this is what happened, and it could have been a lot worse. So I would say, but the vast majority of people who watch this channel, and the vast majority of people who fly drones and model aircraft and model helicopters, do not do this. We are safe. We are responsible flyers. We know the rules. We know the limits of our technology. We know what is safe and what is not safe. This guy obviously knew none of that. For example, I believe that drone flying at Niagara Falls has been banned since 2016, and this video was only last year or the year before. So the first thing you should always do when you're going to fly your drone is make sure it's legal to fly it in the area where you intend to fly. Very easy with smartphones these days just to check and see, oh, I'm not allowed to fly here. I won't. But obviously this guy didn't do that. The other thing this guy did wrong was that he says in the description of the video that the pilot was looking at the screen on his smartphone, looking from the camera's view, and then he heard a helicopter. And when he looked up, obviously there was the helicopter. Well, that's against the regulations as well. The regulations of virtually every country in the world say you must keep a visual line of sight with your drone or model aircraft or whatever. And in some cases like this, that's absolutely essential, because if you look away, you can't see anything approaching your drone. And so when you're flying with, if you want to look at your smartphone or your tablet screen while you're flying your Phantom or your Mavic, you really should have someone beside you looking at the drone. So you have this spotter doing the visual line of sight stuff. Now, okay, I have broken that rule myself, but only when it is safe to do so. I do not fly without a spotter at 500 feet. No, I might fly under the trees in a park without a spotter, but there are not a lot of helicopters down there, manned helicopters under the trees at our park. So I consider that to be reasonably safe. And I do scope out the area to make sure there are no people around. And I do fly at a time of day when people are few and far between. In fact, if you check my videos of me flying FPV without a spotter, you will probably never see another person in them. And you will never see me flying above the height of the trees, because those are the danger areas and I stay well clear of them. So it is a regulation, and if in doubt, follow it to the letter. Right, so this guy did several things wrong, and that's why we ended up with this footage. Now, my question to the model flying and the responsible drone flying community is, what can we as a community do about this? Obviously, this guy, he didn't know the rules, and he wasn't aware of it. It's an education thing. He obviously didn't set out to break the rules, as you can see from the description of the video, but he did break the rules, and he did potentially place people's lives in jeopardy through ignorance. So I believe education is the primary way of dealing with this and avoiding this kind of situation. Education. You can make all the rules you like. It will not stop people who don't know they're breaking the rules and people who are just arrogant and irresponsible. But if you educate as many people as you can, then you're more likely to get this sort of thing being avoided or not happening, because the people will know, I shouldn't do that. And just as importantly as you shouldn't do that, this is why you shouldn't do that. This is a great learning video. I think this video should be used as a perfect example of what happens when you don't know what you're doing. Okay? No evil intent, but ignorance produces this, and it's not good enough. So there we go. And I'm not going to apologize for it. This guy did everything wrong. He should, if people had died, it would have been on his shoulders. The question is, would people have died? Well, that was a Hughes 500 helicopter that shot underneath him and up. And there's only one other instance, I believe, or one instance anywhere in the world where a drone has collided with a Hughes 500. It was a much bigger drone than the drone this guy was flying. And the collision was actually on the tail rotor, which is the worst place. So a much larger drone collided with the tail rotor of a Hughes 500 in Baja, I believe it was. Both craft were filming a motorsport event and they collided. Nobody died, no one was injured, the helicopter was safely landed, a catastrophe was averted, so we don't know. We don't know if this drone and helicopter had collided, we don't know what would have happened, but it doesn't necessarily mean people would have died, but there was always a risk of that happening, and we have to acknowledge that. I'm not going to stand on a high, on high dudgeon and say, oh, no, these are totally safe. No, they're not. If you do things wrong, then you do endanger people's lives. So we've got to take a totally objective view of this and say, this is wrong. Absolutely. So I would say to you, look at this video, perhaps use it to show other people who fly drones why they need to follow the rules and why they need to understand what they're doing. And I'm sure that none of us would do this. And we need to make sure to the media and to the regulators and to politicians that this is not us. This is not the vast majority, the 99.99999% of model flyers and drone flyers who don't cause this sort of problem. That's it. That's my video, my rant, my news for today. And I'd like to thank you for watching it. And if you found this interesting and you're not a subscriber, then before you subscribe, I'm not going to say subscribe, before you subscribe, just look back through the videos on this channel. You'll probably find there are a few here that interest you. If this interested you, then there are other videos on this channel that will interest you. And if you like those videos, then you can subscribe. But then and only then. Don't just subscribe because of one video. Make sure that the content in this channel is the kind of thing that you'll find either entertaining or informative, or hopefully both. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That's this way, like that. And if you don't like the video, then be a rogue and give it a thumbs up anyway and show people that you're a nonconformist. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my Patreon supporters who make it possible for me to go out and crusade for the hobby on their behalf. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.